What is up, guys? This is Pinzo, back with another video today. And as you can see, guys, I've got a little something different for you guys today. So what I have for you today is a guide, and this is something that I have not done in a long time, but I'm trying to get back more into. And it's a guide about Paragon 2, or the projects of Paragon 2. Now, Paragon was a MOBA that shut down in 2018, but the projects that are the successors to Paragon are supposedly going to be playable this summer. Now, there's a couple of these. There's Fault that said that they'd be playable towards the end of June or early July, and Predecessor just came back onto the scene saying that they would have an alpha ready in August. Now, I'm very unbiased towards either of these. I have played Fault in the alphas, and it feels really good. I'm going to try both, of course, and I will have those videos here. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. I'll have more Fault content coming your way. With that said, let's get into the guide today. So the way that I'm going to personally prepare for Paragon 2 is by playing Smite. Smite is a third-person MOBA. I'm sure a lot of you that have played Paragon have probably heard of Smite. It's one of the few MOBAs you can currently play on console, so a lot of you console people, you probably know about Smite as well. Smite's third-person, and the mechanics themselves are very similar to Paragon. You move with WASD, you aim your abilities, stuff that you don't have to do in a more traditional MOBA, such as League of Legends or Dota 2. Now, these segue very well into Paragon 2, and as far as character matchups and stuff like that are concerned, that's stuff that we will all be learning together once Paragon 2 projects start to come out. But today I have a more general guide for you, and I have 3 main steps for you. And I'm going to count them from least to best tips, so make sure you stick around to the end. Number 3 is going to be decision making. Now, MOBAs themselves have a very unique kind of decision-making, and this is a skill you could gain from playing Dota 2 or League of Legends or even Heroes of the Storm. A more traditional top-down type of MOBA would have similar decision-making. And those decisions are stuff like, hey, we want a team fight. Do we want to push a tier 2 tower? Do we want to back off and go for an objective such as Gold Fury or Prime Fire Giant, whatever you want to call it? Now, these are decisions that will be more prominent once Paragon 2 comes out, because we won't know how hard towers are to take. Do you need a carry to take your towers? Do you need a carry to take Orb Prime? Lots of the time, if your carry is dying in a team fight, those get harder, but they're still doable. These are all things that we will be learning once these Paragon 2 projects come out, and I will have more guides on those, hopefully, so if you're new to the Fault community, Paragon community, Predecessor community, make sure to subscribe below. I will have guides for you on those. Back to decision making. Like I said, these are things you can practice with other MOBAs, but moving on to tip number 2, I think you should stick with Smite. And that reason being how similarly your roles are played in Smite and Paragon compared to a more traditional MOBA such as League or Dota. Now, the roles are similar to the point where it's basically one-to-one on how you play your role. Now, positioning and builds, that stuff will be slightly different and will come with meta and when people figure out what the meta is when these Paragon 2 projects launch. But your way to prepare for that is to jump into Smite and learn a role. Now, personally, my favorite role is mid lane. My best role is probably jungle. I like mid lane because I get to play casters at the end of the game who are hitting for 1,000 damage, and I like the big damage numbers. Now, I'm not necessarily deleting someone from the game like you can playing jungle with an assassin or something like that. I'm not critting every auto for 800. I like mid. It makes me feel good when I see big damage numbers. A lot of people like solo because you can press the W key into the enemy backline and they cannot stop you. You are just a tank. You walk where you want and they can't do anything about it. Jungle is often a role for people who want to carry a game themselves. Jungle, you have a lot of control on what happens all over the map. You have control on what lane you want to put ahead, what lane you need to help out if they're behind. Jungle has a lot of control over the flow of the game. And supports, people like support because they can stand in the front of your team and they're eating cooldowns, they're eating CC. They don't even have to touch their keyboard because they're going to be stunned, rooted, crippled, everything. And then the enemy has no cooldowns and it's your turn to go in, or you go in first, you make a big play, you set up your team, you keep them alive. It's a really feel-good role. You're often a shot caller, maybe that's the role for you. And then you get to carry, and carry is kind of like the glorified role. Carry in a team fight probably doesn't do a whole lot besides attempting to survive. You're trying to shred the enemy front line because that's all you're going to be able to shoot at. You're trying to not get deleted by the enemy jungler who's probably trying to kill you. And if you survive, that's good because now your team has tower push, you have objective shred, stuff like that. That's why you need your carry alive through those fights. Your carry is your win condition. Your carry is probably not what's going to win you a team fight. Your carry is what's going to win you the game by pushing towers, by taking inhibitors, phoenixes, whatever you'd like to call them. And with a brief summary of the roles out of the way, if you guys want specific role guides on how to play a role in Smite and get ready for Paragon, let me know in the comments. I will gladly make those should you like them. I'm a very proficient mid and jungler as well as carry and solo. Support, not as much, but if that's a guide you'd like to see, I will very much practice up on it. With that said, guys, let's move into the number one thing you can do in Smite to get ready for Paragon. That is your mechanics. The games are very, I cannot stress enough how mechanically similar the games are. They're both third person, you use WASD to move, and you use your mouse to aim. This is not like other MOBAs. You're not going to get this specific type of movement, aim, anything from another MOBA. This is something you only get from being able to play Smite right now. With this, you will learn to aim your auto attacks, you will learn to press ability keys while you're moving, you will learn to aim abilities. All this kind of stuff is stuff that you will not be able to get from another MOBA. Smite can get you this. It will not quite be the same as Paragon because of the third dimension you are missing, but it is the closest you can get right now. So with all that said, guys, I highly recommend you download Smite free to play, jump into a game, get your mechanics ready. Even if you're just playing Arena, you don't have to be playing Conquest. If you're just playing Arena, your mechanics will be more prepared for Paragon than they would be should you sit around waiting for only Paragon to come out. This will give you an edge in the first few weeks that Paragon is out, and I think it will help you grind that leaderboard if that's what you are trying to do. They do have all the MMRs shown on their website. It will help you grind that right away if you want to get to the top. If that's your goal, I highly recommend you pick up Smite. So with all that said, guys, if you did make it to the end of the video, please do leave me a like. And if you did want any of these specific role guides of how to play Smite to prepare for Paragon, please let me know in the comments below. I will gladly make those videos for you if you would like them. And with all that said, guys, I have been Pinzo. This video is donezo. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.